Hello everyone, Jesse from JRoussel.Creations here with another Silly Moon Quilting Company ruler video. Today we're going to be using Rocket, and what's fun about Rocket is that it's kind of an intermediate ruler, whereas Edgy was a good place to start as a straight edge. Rocket has what's fun of small inner and outer curves. And so they're gentle curves. They're not anything crazy, but it'll give you a nice jumping off point to get more of to wet your feet before you jump into full-on circles. Best progression I can always suggest is starting with a straight edge, getting your basics down with that, learning how to hold the rulers, how to control the rulers, and then move up to gentle curves, and then move on to circles, because full circles, and I do mean full circles, we'll look at circles a bit later. They require a different tact on how to hold them. You continuously need to reposition your fingers as you go, as opposed to start, stop, move ruler, start, stop, move ruler on a straight edge, because you kind of need to do the entire design in one fluid motion. So yeah, we'll take the next step into intermediate territory with Rocket today. And yeah, before we get started, we need our ruler base. Give me 2 seconds, I forgot to cut my threads. As I always say, ruler bases are very important for ruler quilting because they stop you from having a whole bunch of headache in case your ruler hops up into your foot between the foot and the needle, and it's just enough sizing to get right up in there, have your needle come back down, crack your ruler, break your needle, possibly screw up your foot and the timing of your machine. So 5 seconds of thought beforehand, put your ruler base on, and you're good to go. Doesn't matter if you're doing an inch or an entire quilt. Always quilt with a ruler base when using a longarm. So yeah, basics of Rocket. It is about an inch longer on the flat edge than the 6-inch Edgy, and about 3 inches shorter than the 10-inch. So I'd say probably a good 7-inch ruler for the straight edge, as well as the 2 curves. Rocket is fun if, say, you want to throw in, you've mastered your basics and you want to expand your knowledge a bit. It's a good stepping off point to get curves. Now, something to warn about, there are no stops like the straight edge here. As you can see, there's spots where the ruler foot will literally stop up against. There is no stop on the curves. So you have to be very mindful when you're using the curves that you want to start kind of already on the foot and you want to stop before the end of the ruler. So that way you don't have a chance of going and sliding off the ruler and flying off into your project. Ask me how I know. Yeah, so just some basics. Again, Rocket is like any other straight edge. It's straight edge. It's a 7-inch, and it's got the 2 stops, so you can go the full length or just the little partials. And then the curves are what's the fun part about this. So the way to work with gentle curves like Rocket here is essentially the same. You would put your pressure down on the ruler as well as up against the ruler foot. While controlling the machine, you want to push the foot up against the ruler. But what's different between a straight edge, where you're essentially pushing the same way while pulling down or up or away or whatever, you kind of have to change the angle of your pressure up against the ruler foot while you're going. And so this is what makes sort of gentle curves a nice in-between step between straight edges and full circles. They give you that teaching experience on how to manipulate a curve. What's fun is you get nice teardrops. You can repeat them. Go over different items. You can repeat. And just different curves. What's fun with this, say you want a 3/4 inch repeat. Well, pull out Spacey, and you have access to half to all the way up to 2-inch spacers. And with the markings on the ruler itself, you can line them up on a previous stitch and get perfect spacing. Another fun addition that I recently got from Silly Moon is called Dude. And he has basic increments from 1/8, 3/4, half, 1/4, and 1-inch spacing. And the way you use Dude is place his arm up against the ruler, or say the stitch line. That way you have a good way to mark. I generally never use the 1/8 because matchstick is very finicky and I don't really like it that much. Now again, something to remember, the ruler foot itself is 1/4 inch from the outer edge, no matter where you are around the circumference, to the center where the needle is. So if I want an inch spacing, I'm not going to use an inch. I'm going to use the 3/4. That way I can add in the 1/4 inch of the foot for a 1-inch spacing. So again, the differences between how to hold the ruler aren't very different. With Rocket itself, it's kind of easy because you can grip the top and bottom edges and kind of apply your pressure that way. So one finger at the bottom, one finger in the center, and one finger at the top. Given my hands are pretty big, so it is probably easier for me than for other people. I do know some people like to just apply a firm pressure straight down and like lie their entire hand on the ruler. That can also work. So you do it essentially like this. Go. And that's one way to do it. But yeah. Get gentle curves and straight lines. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, leave them in the comments below. And I will see you in the next video. Have a good day.